Barbo during the bye week?
Well, for us, it was for self-scout. So, how can we take what we've done in the past 6 games or 7 games and grow from there and take what we did well and continue to change that and adapt that in a positive way, but also take what we didn't do well and find new ways to get better at it and, grow closer as a unit to where we use those fixables as a way to grow our communication and grow how we play as one on the field.
When you look at your fourth quarter success in terms of points versus the struggles you guys have had in the first quarter, what stands out?
I think we'd always like to be better in the first, couple of quarters of the game, first half of the game. Sometimes it's the game of football, balancing, 2 halves of football. It's difficult sometimes, and we know we have to be better early in the game. But our message during practice, during off season, during now is finish. You can't control what you've done in the past. As long as we have a focus of starting fast, and if we didn't accomplish that, it's always to finish no matter what. And that kind of showed the past few games where we got into a spot where we didn't start very well. We could have played better in the first half or first few quarters of the game, but we stuck it out and we finished as a team, and that's what showed.
Now that you're through 7 games, what are a few things you've learned about playing quarterback in the Big Ten?
It's football number one. I would say for anyone playing in the Big Ten as the quarterback, it's always a really cool experience to play under the lights of the Big Ten, and playing with the best talent in the world and the country of and the Big Ten, and being able to compete on that level and that stage every single week is pretty cool. There's no room for sitting back like we got this one this week. It's whatever. There's no room for that at all, especially in the Big Ten, and that's really cool. It's a really fun challenge for us as a team, and especially me as a quarterback. It keeps me on my toes throughout the week, and it's exciting to see new challenges and play new teams because every week, frankly, is a new team for me, and I think it's a fun challenge.
With that said, how much more settled and entrenched do you feel now? Because it happens quick. I mean,
Oh yeah.
we used to see guys that would have 30 games,
Mm-hmm.
get one season's worth, and you're at the halfway mark.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely gone by quick too. You start in the offseason, you start in January, and now you're halfway through the season or over halfway. It's like, where'd the time go? But I think personally, I think I did a good job of taking it day by day and really understanding where my feet were, and trying to grow the best I could with the days that I had. And now we're over halfway, and I think I've you realize what time you've put in throughout the season and throughout the off season, where you can be comfortable on the Tuesday and Wednesday during the week. Like I'm working my butt off right now. I'm comfortable in a positive way, not in a way that I'm comfortable I can sit back, but I'm comfortable where I'm at. My routine is where I want it to be, and this team is where I want it to be, and that's a settling feeling for sure.
Max, what do you take from the Thursday night dinners at Treehouse?
They've been a blast, dude. They've been a blast. The guys love them. Freehouse has been absolutely amazing. I was able to gift my team some gift cards to go there last week during the bye week, and most of the guys used them up pretty quickly. So it's been a blessing. The family at Freehouse has been absolutely amazing to us. They're on a rotation of waiters and waitresses there that all know us by name now, and we have our routine where we get the same meal every single week, and but the guys love it. It's been a great team bonding experience for us.
Are there any examples of conversations you've had with certain guys in that setting?
Honestly, it's just a way to get outside. We don't really talk about football as much there. It's more of just to get outside of football and talk about our lives and get away from the whole facility piece where we can spend 2 hours outside of football and then go home and watch the Thursday night games.
Talking about expectations coming in the season, now you've time to reflect on that. Just is this kind of what you expected? I don't know if you can expect leading numerous game-winning drives in the situation as well.
Are you talking about expectations of kind of like the start of the season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yourself, just you personally.
Yeah, personally, I think this year is a big growing year for me. I wanted to challenge myself as best as possible to where, I knew that I had a lot of stuff to work on as a quarterback, as a person, as a leader, and I think that I've grown a lot until now, and I still have a lot more growth to do. And this team is the same way. Every team starts out at the beginning of the year. Looking at last year, what can we get better at? This team has attacked that every single day since January. And you kind of see it now up to the halfway mark of the season or over the halfway mark where I think people are, so far we've had some wins and losses. Every team's going to have wins and losses, but we're focused on the process. And this team is 100% bought into the process, and you can see that and feel that. And that's a fun team to be a part of, where you're not really focused on the outcome, but more about what can I do every single day to get better. And that's why this team's been so much fun to compete with. And it's just because that's my mindset is process before progress, and this team has defined that for sure.
How do you feel the passing game to Darius Taylor has developed this year?
Yeah, it's been great. I said in January, I was like, hey, like I like to throw a check down if it's there. If my reads aren't there, I'm not going to try to force one. The check down's there. And it's definitely become a big part of our pass game. I think that's for most passing attacks in college football and NFL, having a check down, have a viable option where if down the field's not open, having something to come down to get 3 or 4 yards at minimum is really important. And he's taken that with a lot of pride. And we've gotten the same page, and we've gotten a line throughout the season. And he just continues to be in the right spot at the right time.
Is it similar to what you had with Dylan in New Hampshire?
Yeah, very, very similar. Yeah, they have a really good understanding of space. It's where you don't have to worry too much about them being in the wrong spot. They're always in the right spot, and feeling out where defenders are. And he's so young for what he does too. He's only been playing college football for a couple of years, and so being able to play with him for my last year is pretty cool.
Would you describe the chemistry you've been able to develop with Daniel? Obviously, had a huge game in UCLA.
Yeah, it's been great. I think we challenge each other on a daily basis. Today we had 3 or 4 conversations about something I thought that he didn't do well, but he was like, "No, you're wrong," and that's exactly how it should be. Is how we can grow together. Where he tells me how he's going to run something something on a route wise, or how he's going to block something up, and it's the feedback that we give each other that allows us to grow together. That's how the whole receiver room is too. I think Elijah Spencer has taken that with a lot of pride too. I think he's been one that has grown so much this year. But it's because of our communication together, how much we've done in the offseason up till now as well. And throughout the week, that's exactly how we attack it, where we want to give each other feedback. We want to grow together.
How down to the minute is your game day routine?
Very extremely down to the minute. I think it changes obviously with depending on if it's a night game or if it's a noon game. But I always have my exactly how many hours before team dinner or team stretch I start my stuff. And once that clock hits, I don't want anyone messing with me. I'm exactly on my plan, and that's something I got to work on too. Sometimes when I get out of my cycle, I got to do a better job of being able to hone back in where I'm not I got out of my routine and this is going to be bad. It's going to be fine. And I've gotten better at that over the years. When I was younger, it was the world's ending if I don't get this last band stretch out of my arm. But it's been great. I think Coach Harbaugh has learned my routine as well, and he might think it's crazy. He might think it's cool. I don't really know. But during practice, we have a set amount of time before practice starts, and I'm looking at the clock, and he's like, I can tell you're looking at the clock because he sees me periffing over there to see when I'm going to get out of the meeting to start my routine before practice. So I'm extremely routine based, and it's been something I've lived by my whole life.
One more from Max. What do you see challenges from the Maryland defense?
Yeah, another great Big Ten defense. I think they're big, they're fast, they're physical. They're stout up front in the interior, and they got twitchy guys on the outside on the D line, and their linebackers play extremely hard. And like I said a couple weeks ago against UCLA, it's always fun to play against those guys that really love playing ball. You can tell when someone loves playing ball by the film if they're attacking every single play with their maximum effort. In the back end, they're extremely talented. They've forced a few turnovers the past few games, being in the right spot at the right time, and I think they're coached really well too. I think they're from the top down, I think they're coached really well, and it'll be a fun challenge for us. Both going into the game against each other 4-3, and it'll be a fun battle.
All set?
Awesome, thanks guys.
From the defensive staff during the bye week.
Just keep getting better. Go back, work on our fundamentals and techniques. Throughout the season, that's what we focused to improve on each and every week, game by game. So now that we didn't have a game on Saturday, just going back through and making sure we actually really hone in on them and, focus on ourselves when there's no opponent there on Saturday. That was really the main message.
Ethan, how do you look at Maryland's passing game, especially Tech?
Yeah, they're efficient, really athletic, really skilled, really talented guys on the outside between Felton and then number 1 on the other side. Really talented guys. Me and Wiley got to come bring our A games, and anybody else that steps on the field on Saturday. It's just that is what it is. But we approach it the same every other week with every other type of receiver. You got to come ready to play. It's the Big Ten, and you got to be ready to play on Saturdays.
Through 7 weeks, what have you learned about playing cornerback in the Big Ten?
It's a real physical game. and I kind of like that. So just being physical when I can and inserting my dominance in the tackling and in the run game as well. I just learned that it's very balanced in terms of how the offenses attack you for the large majority of the teams. So you get a little bit of everything.
What goes through your mind when you see them on the zero, or like a quick hitch, and you get to come up and kind of lay the boom? We've seen it multiple times.
Go make a play, set the tone for the game. Usually those are pretty early for me, like early in the first or second quarter. So just come up, set the tone, get the defense going, and just set the tone for how we're going to play throughout the rest of the game.
Which is Coach Monroe influence your development since you got here?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Monroe is great. He's helped me a lot, like adjust to the scheme here a lot, like very, very quickly since I got here in the spring, actually in the winter. And then on top of that, just week in and week out, he makes sure not only me but everybody in the room is prepared for Saturdays. That's why when you see stuff happen like Zaquan Bryan coming in the game, like he's ready to ball because Coach Monroe does a great job of making sure that everybody knows what's going on, everybody understands their tips and tendencies. So he's a really great coach. I love Coach Monroe.
Maryland gets the ball out quicker than any other Big Ten team. As a defensive back, what changes knowing that?
Your eyes have to be great because anytime you play a team with quick game, there's always double moves and counters off of that. So just making sure your eyes are great, driving the man, not the ball. And then when you do get an opportunity to get your eyes back and find the ball, go make a play.
What's been the impression of what Coy's been able to do through his first 7 years?
Yeah, I mean, anytime a true freshman can come in and insert and play like that and make plays like that, it's very impressive. I mean, I was a true freshman at the FCS level doing it, so to see him do it in the Big Ten, that's very impressive. He's going to be a heck of a player here, as he is already, but he's going to develop and be even better for 3-4 more years to come. So Coy's been impressive. He's really great to be around.
Ethan, what sold you on Minnesota when you're picking a school in the transfer portal, and has it been everything you thought it'd be?
Yeah, it's been everything I thought it would be. I mean, the guys up there do a great job, coaches and staff included, of being upfront with you in the recruiting process and telling you exactly what's gonna how it should play out and what's gonna happen. They don't really beat around the bush, and I really got a good jump on that and beat on that when talking to different coaches. So that really stood out to me. Compared to other schools, and then just being able to come out here and get an opportunity to play at the highest level, which I've been doing for now going on 7 weeks. So it's everything I wanted it to be and more.
How would you describe the difference between FCS, where you played at, and FBS up here?
Yeah, I mean, just the speed and the physicality. I mean, obviously, the trenches is completely different monster going from the FCS to here. But the speed of the receivers also, and just how skilled and talented they are. But once you get, at least for me, once I got into the flow of things and I was able to get great reps versus like Daniel Jackson, Elijah Spencer, things like that, it all plays out in the end.
What does it mean to have Cody, a guy that's
Yeah, I mean, Cody's been a great help on the field. Because as a corner, you can't see everything. Just your positioning on the field in relation to looking at the other side of the formation and things like that. So in terms of holistic defensive checks, defensive formation changes, defensive call changes, Cody orchestrates that. Like, our safeties do a great job with it as well, but Cody's a real vocal leader, and it's great being around Cody. You'll never miss a call when you're around Cody. He's really good at that stuff.
How important is the experience you've gained playing close games so far this season, where it comes down to the fourth quarter and every play can be like a game changer or a game decider?
Very important. I mean, we talk about narrow games and one-possession games all the time as a team. So we review it in practice and all the different scenarios. So like stuff you guys haven't seen, Coy caught that ball on the air 1,000 times. So it's no coincidence that when it happens on Saturdays, he's right there to go make the play. It's one of those things where, at least for me, when the ball went in the air and I looked and I saw Coy back there, I was like, all right, we're good. Game over, we're good. We just practice stuff like that all the time. We hammer it home. So just having that game-like experience and then also practicing it every week and throughout the week, it just comes in handy, especially this back stretch of the schedule where we might need that going down the road.
If the defense is going to get off the field more on third down, what needs to change?
We just have to execute better as a whole defense. I mean, communication has to be better, starting there, all across the board. The calls got to go from one corner all the way to the other corner. So we got to get it from the corners to the backers to the safeties, and just communicate across the board, and then just execute. Third down, we love it. We love being in third down. It's fun for us. So when you see like a little cheese that you can go bite, I want to make a play here. We just have to do a better job of executing our job, because it's all covered up. So we just have to trust everybody else around us, and we will.
Anything else for Ethan?
Appreciate it, guys. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Now, does homecoming have any extra special meaning
Yeah, it's pretty cool that all the alum come back to watch us play, and hopefully we see some guys that I obviously played with. So hopefully we see that.
What was the message from Debo to the defensive line during the bye week?
Yeah, we gotta be better with our details and containing the quarterback second half of the season, and just honing in on just our steps and stuff like that. So yeah.
Maryland gets the ball out quicker than the other Big Ten team. So you as a pass rusher, what changes for you?
I don't think anything changed. I feel like we gotta obviously get our hands up, and I know they do a lot of screens, so we gotta be able to retrace and get out of stacks and stuff like that. So yeah.
How much part does the defensive line add in some of the disruptions, leading to interceptions? Your play against USC, Devon's against UCLA.
Yeah, that's huge because we always talk about affecting the quarterback. We don't only talk about just sacks. And so, yeah, I feel like that was a really good play by me, a good play by Dev and the whole defensive line. Just like even Jackson's play with Corey's pick. So yeah.
What does Danny Strigow bring to the team as a leader?
Yeah, he's I love that kid. And someone that I really look up to, honestly, even just being in my class, always just head down, always hard worker, never complains, just always just honed in on his craft, and so yeah.
Much better is his defense than it was in week one. How far have you guys come from until now?
Yeah, I think we found our identity. You talk about a lot of those things in fall camp and stuff like that, but actually just going out there and playing against different teams and just knowing different things that you're good at, different things that you're not so good at, taking those things out and adding new things to our defense. I think Coach Heatherman has really done a good job about that, and so yeah.
What would you say the identity of the defense is?
I feel like we're just hard nosed, always attacking. I feel like with just like holding our with our blitzes and stuff like that. I feel like teams know that we're gonna blitz anyway, so just honing in on those.
What did you think of that viral moment with Coy press conference after USC? Traction that thing got.
It's kind of crazy that that blew up like that. I actually talked to my dad about it because we were just talking on the phone. Cause we talk about it. We talk on the phone after every game. The next day, he was like, "You know, you're going viral." I'm like, "No way, yeah." but yeah.
We see what Coy does on the field, but what kind of personality does he bring to the team?
Yeah, he's just a high energy guy, and you kind of like that as an older guy, and just seeing all the younger guys just fly around and just having fun out there, and so yeah.
What has Ethan Robinson brought to the team on defense this year?
Yeah, he's definitely brought a voice in the back end, just not just Wally, but another guy on the other end, and he just wanted to just be connected with the whole entire defense. Just being a new guy, I know I was probably the first person he talked to when he came. So our relationship off the field has really connected us on the field. So yeah.
What'd you tell him about the program when he was looking at coming here?
Yeah, I told him it was gonna be hard when he picked here, but he challenged himself. He always bet on himself when he got here, and I think he really fit in with our program really well, and he's done a really good job.
How important is that experience that you guys have gained from playing close games in the fourth quarter where every single play on that final drive kind of could be game-changing?
Yeah, I think that goes to last year where games where it just didn't finish, situational football. So I think we've done a good job this year just closing out games and, just closing out games and winning those.
Anything else for John? All right, thanks, John.
Thank you.
What was the message from Callahan to the offensive line during the bye week?
Yeah, I mean, just striving to get better every day. There's obviously things that we can learn from the first 7. Playing in really tight games, it allows us to kind of say, we got to put the game on our shoulders, especially when it comes down to those short yardage opportunities and stuff like that. So his message to us was just, focus on ourselves for right now during the bye week, and now we're moving on to Maryland, obviously. But doing everything we do just a little bit better for these next 5.
If the offensive line is going to become more consistent starting this weekend against Maryland, what has to change?
I think communication's a big thing. We're doing a good job of, changing our best there and communicating, over communicating, with the quarterback, with each other, and then, just flying off the ball, being confident. We all do a really good job of preparing, and I think Coach Callahan leads the way there. But just going out and having the ultimate confidence, especially with the guys who haven't played as much as maybe some of the older guys up front. But having that confidence to fly off the ball and, give it your all every play.
Maryland's pretty multiple up front. They rotate a lot of guys. What have you noticed while preparing for the front seven?
Yeah, they're really talented. They play well together, and they've got a variety of talent, like you said. They got some big, powerful guys, and then they've got some guys who are quick too. So, got to prepare on all spectrums, but it'll be a fun challenge for us up front.
What's important for Greg as he continues to work on his transition position?
Yeah, I think, like I said, for him, over communicating, having confidence too. When he's making the calls, pretty much every play, Coach Callahan gives him that job. He's making the calls. He doesn't want anybody else talking to Greg when we're out there. But it's up to him to make the calls, to make the IDs, and we all trust him up front. And he's doing a heck of a job this season of doing that. I think just for him going forward, having that confidence, having the experience of playing that position, because you hear it all the time of like, oh, once he has more experience, he'll become better. But center's a big one for that. So having experience, especially in the Big Ten, going against who we see in interior D linemen in this league, I think he's doing a great job of getting better and learning from week to week.
Every team wants to improve week to week. Sometimes it doesn't happen. It certainly feels like you guys have a pretty good sense of momentum going forward. Do you feel like you guys are really starting to take off?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to our process, really. We don't necessarily want to buy into the momentum piece because anything can change at any time. So it's just us doing our job, 1-0 every single play. That's our mantra on offense is 1-0 on every single play, every drive, every game. So that starts with us up front. If we're not 1-0 together as a unit and as individuals as well, play could be dead. So just, yes, trying to build off of the last 7, but also understanding that it comes down to the process and not necessarily reliance on the momentum.
You've had 6 fourth quarter touchdown drives over the past 3 games. What type of confidence does that bring to your line?
Yeah, it brings a lot of confidence to us. We pride ourselves on that. Even going back all the way to January, tough workout we're going through with Coach Nickel. It's, we're talking about, this is what it's going to come down to when it's 4th and goal against USC, that kind of thing. And we just so happen to have that scenario come up. But, we pride ourselves a lot on that. And like I said, we want to put the team on our backs whenever we can. And, we've had a lot of fun in those drives and hope to see a few more of them.
Fleck talked about you and Max before the season being vocal leaders and guys in the huddle that people turn to. How important has that been for those game-winning drives you guys have gone on?
I think it's been incredibly important. Max more so to like the guys on the outside, and then I think I do a good job of leading the guys up front, and along with Ariante and Coop and those guys. But it's a mentality, and if nobody's saying anything, what's the mentality? You know what I mean? So Max and I really trying to take charge and make sure everybody's on the same page of like we're getting the ball in the end zone right here. And it's going to start with us. And I think it comes down to our preparation and how we attack each play as well, because if we're saying all this and then we're not performing on Saturdays, that falls to deaf ears.
Max organized the trip for the skill position players down to Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand he had you guys set up for a trip also, as linemen.
Yeah, so he sent or he helped facilitate the offensive line going down to Texas for the O-line Masterminds deal this past summer. And then every Thursday he takes the O-line and a few tight ends out to dinner, which is tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. But, yeah, he takes us out to dinner to Free House in the North Loop area, which is a real nice place. And he does a great job of leading everybody in the offense and, I understand that was something that he did at New Hampshire, and he wanted to bring that tradition here, and he brings Drake along so that he can carry that on when he leaves.
What do you see from Ashton as he's stepped into an offensive line starting spot here last week?
Yeah, I think he's really, taking it on with a lot of confidence. He was kind of sitting in the back waiting for his opportunity. He always prepared his butt off, even if he wasn't playing. He was preparing like a starter every week, and he was given a great opportunity, and he's come in and he's done a great job, I think. He does a great job of communicating with me, with what he sees and what he thinks. Obviously, I think he allows me to have, kind of that more experienced talk to him, and he knows that whatever I say is more than likely what we're supposed to do. So he has a lot of trust and a lot of confidence out there. And one thing I love about Ashton is if he gets beat, like, it's next play, flush it. Like, for instance, against Michigan, he gave up a sack, and it is what it is. We give up sacks from time to time, and the next play, he buried the guy. He's coming out flying the next play. A lot of offensive linemen, you'll see that discourage them, but he doesn't let it get to him. He flushes it and moves on to the next play, which I was really proud of him for that as a young guy still and an inexperienced starter.
What do you feel like about him moving positions and maybe something that maybe doesn't project as good for you professionally and make a sacrifice for the team for the greater good?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think of it that way. Whatever the team needs, that's always been my, MO, really. When I was at Notre Dame, it was wherever I could fit in. And when I'm here, wherever the team needs me. If that's at right tackle, if that's at place kicker, I don't know. Wherever they need me, I'll do it. So I love playing guard. I love playing tackle as well. But, I just love playing O-line. So wherever they need me.
You have a pretty good leg. Could you do it?
No. I'm terrible.
Homecoming do anything for you? You guys so focused on the mission that you can't really focus on that, or is there something special about alumni, former players, and so on?
Yeah, kind of in the back of our heads. I mean, our goal, our job for the weekend for the university is to win the game, obviously. But for me, it's fun. My dad being an alum, he's got a bunch of teammates coming back, so he's going to be seeing them before the game, and I'll hopefully see him afterwards. But yeah, I know it's fun for all those guys. They love the homecoming weekend, and I love it too, just to be able to see my dad enjoy it. So.
Quinn, how would you describe the challenge, I guess, of Callahan and offensive line penalties and trying to cut those down?
Yeah, I mean he's obviously been harping on it, and it's it's something that at times you're like, okay, that was preventable from our standpoint. It's like, okay, just let go, or obviously we flinch or something like that. But that's a mentality piece. It's like you have to understand how to play smart football. And I think we're still one of the least penalized teams in the country and have been past few years. But, I think we probably, up front, we probably lead the team in the penalty column, which needs to stop, obviously. And that starts with me. I've had a few, which in previous years I haven't had any, but, sometimes it happens. So, again, just got to learn from it and understand that we're keyed into the quarterback's cadence. We're not flinching. We're not grabbing onto guys, which you shouldn't be anyway. So, that's where most of our penalties come from anyway. So just understanding that got to play smart football if you want to win games, especially in close ones.
Time for one or two more. Everyone's got it. All right. Thanks, Quinn.
Thanks. Good to see you.